Thanks, Trevor. The most popular video game right now is Fortnite. And why not? It's got everything people love. Hanging out with your friends, killing your friends, and dancing over your friends' dead bodies. But just like every other thing that's popular, people have started to blame it for all their problems.
The popular video game Fortnite now has more than 200 million registered players worldwide. Problem is, experts say it's incredibly addicting.
Behavioral health experts have seen an increase in young adults seeking treatment for their addiction to video games. In fact, earlier this year, the World Health Organization recognized gaming disorder as a diagnosable condition.
A British behavioral specialist says Fortnite addiction is like heroin.
Okay, Fortnite is not like drugs, okay? There's no rock star who died from video games. Elvis wasn't passed out on the toilet with his veins full of Pac-Man, right? No other form of entertainment gets the bad rap that video games do. I mean, why does 20 straight hours of Fortnite mean you're addicted, but binging Marvelous Miss Maisel means you're sophisticated? Oh. And so what if I sometimes miss work because I was up all night playing Fortnite? I just tell my idiot boss I lost my voice, like he does all the time. All the time. You have one job. But fine, these so-called specialists say it's an addiction, and now the innocent kids are paying the price.
Some parents are so worried their kids are spending so much time playing the popular game, they're taking a drastic step and sending their kids to video game rehab.
Well, this year, the drug of choice, as we call it, is Fortnite.
Michael Jacobus runs Reset Summer Camp, a 4-week program that focuses on teen tech addiction.
When kids are at your camp, is it like a detox?
Yes, absolutely.
With no devices for a whole month, the camp focuses on therapy and teaching life skills like cooking and laundry.
Okay. Cooking and laundry is not rehab. It's what makes you want to play video games in the first place. Okay, no kid has ever been like, hey, washing my filthy clothes is so much fun. I'll never play video games again. If I wanted to cook and do laundry, I'd play The Sims, all right? And the blame keeps going because according to some, Fortnite isn't just damaging kids, it's ruining marriages.
An online UK divorce service says 200 divorce petitions cited Fortnite this year.
That was the reason for the split.
Put the controller down.
Fortnite.
Don't blame Fortnite for your shitty marriage, okay? You made your wife sit and watch you play Fortnite day after day until one day you look over and she's gone. Well, guess where she is now, buddy? She's at my house watching me play Fortnite. Guys, Fortnite is harmless fun. In fact, the only place I draw a line is using it to train real killers.
You can serve your country and play Fortnite? Well, the Stars and the Stripes newspaper says yes, the Army is forming a team of pro gamers to compete in tournaments as a recruitment tool.
The plan is actually to have recruiters playing those games in their uniforms at tournaments to provoke questions about their jobs from the players.
This is a great idea until those dumb kids stop fighting and start dancing in the middle of the war, right? And just getting shot in the... The only way the army should use Fortnite is to drop it on ISIS. Then they'll stop playing it 20 hours a day and we'll have won the war on terror. And that's when we really get to dance.
Ronny Chieng, everybody!
For the past few years, I've been intensely watching children in playgrounds.
Ronny. Sorry, that sounded wrong. I don't think you were allowed to do that.
Okay, calm down. It's for my online child psychology degree, all right? Jeez, sound just like the cops. Anyway, in my research, I just discovered a really stupid trend.
Many communities do everything they can to keep playgrounds safe. The problem is they may also be stifling creativity. That's why some cities are taking a swing in the opposite direction.
So-called adventure playgrounds. At this New York City playground, the toys are tools. Real hammers and nails.
I just decided that this is getting really crowded and...
That's true. And so the 11-year-old started building an addition to the playground fort.
Okay, I don't care what you say. That is not a playground. That is a junkyard, okay? All that's missing is a pit bull with rabies and the Fat Albert gang. They're making kids play with hammers and nails. That's not adventure, it's just work. They're tricking kids into building their own playground. And I gotta tell you, this exact same thing happened to me back home in Asia, right? And by the time we were done playing, we had finished a whole new line of Nikes. And this idea isn't new, all right? Like most American sitcoms and America itself, this is just another British remake.
Adventure playgrounds first blossomed in the UK after World War II thanks to this woman, Marjorie Allen. She turned London bomb sites into places kids could do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Just so we're clear, she didn't turn bomb sites into playgrounds. She just brought kids to play in bomb sites. All right? And all that did was teach kids that Hitler built them playgrounds. No wonder we have so many Nazis again. But here's the thing, all right? I don't mind if kids get hurt, okay? Because who cares about that?
Wait. Oh, I thought you said you were studying child psychology.
Yo, do you want me to get a lawyer or do you want me to finish the segment? All right, jeez. This goddamn deposition over here. I'm just saying, I don't care if parents build their kids a death trap. They're not my kids, all right? What's stupid is when parents try to pretend that it's teaching them something.
After taking a sledgehammer to these wood pallets, we watched the kids pile up the broken boards and set them on fire.
Not that I want them to get hurt, but it's part of growing up, it's part of learning.
Oh yeah, that kid's a genius. I don't know if his brain can handle that much learning. I mean, ask him what his favorite number is. It's probably Jell-O. And these parents are so committed to hurting their kids, they're bragging about it.
Embracing the freedom of adventure play may be easy in theory.
Excuse me, guys.
But what happens when someone steps on a nail? When it happened to Addison Block, we noticed her mom, Jill, let her other daughter keep playing.
We went in knowing that it's a place they could get hurt. It's the type of experience that kids in the city don't always get. I think that's great.
You're right, Mom. You know, you just can't get good tetanus in the city these days anymore. You know what else you don't get in the city anymore? Polio. Why don't we dig up Franklin Roosevelt's bones and have kids rub up against them? Look, parents, just admit that you want to leave your kids alone in a vacant lot because you're sick of them. There's no shame in that. Again, it happened to me all the time. My mom left me at grocery stores and off-track betting parlors and the highway, but she never called them playgrounds, okay? She had the decency to look me deep in my eyes and say, Ronnie, I'm leaving you. And that is called parenting.
Ronny Chieng, everybody.
America has a problem with food. You guys want your food to be cheap and fast, but also to be fresh and healthy. That's too many things, okay? You can't have both. It's like racial diversity at a ski lodge. It doesn't exist. And when Americans don't get everything they expect from their food, you end up with dumb lawsuits like this one.
The Reading Eagle reports on a $5 million class action lawsuit that accuses Godiva of misleading consumers. The suit says Godiva's packaging reads Belgium 1926, implying the chocolate is made there when it is actually made in Reading, Pennsylvania. Godiva says the Belgian brand is proud of its roots and the company's logo reflects the spirit.
Come on, guys, you're telling me that Americans care that their chocolate isn't from Belgium? I'll give you the money myself if you can show me where Belgium is on the map. But also, Godiva, why are you tricking people about where your chocolate is from? Nobody cares. You could say that it was made in Bernie Sanders' shoe and people would still eat it, okay? People love chocolate so much that Willy Wonka killed kids and we didn't even care because he made chocolate. Americans are so entitled. Not only does their cheap food have to be exotic, they also want it to be organic, like this lady.
A Bronx woman is suing TGI Fridays for $5 million, claiming the restaurant's potato skin snacks aren't actually made of potatoes. The potato skin snacks come in bags, are sold in stores and vending machines across the country. The woman says she bought the snack at a Bronx bodega, but says she wouldn't have made the purchase if she knew the product didn't contain real potatoes. She claims the food is misbranded and not as healthy as the restaurant's popular appetizer.
Okay, so I get where this lady is coming from. I would also be pissed. Because you can't sell a snack called potato skins if it doesn't have any potatoes in it, okay? Imagine if you got tickets to a Beyonce concert and when you got there, I came out. You'll be furious. Why? Because you're not ready for the jelly. But still, how is this lady suing for $5 million? Like, how much did she spend on these potato skins? $4? Okay, well, then she gets the $4 back, okay? In fact, you know what? Here's a 10, okay? Go buy yourself 30 seconds of therapy. I mean, honestly, who is expecting food from TGI Fridays? They give you 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, and 2 desserts, all for $20. That's not a meal, that's a yard sale. Okay? Again, we don't need a lawsuit. Just give the lady her money back, and TGI Fridays, you can still call them potato skins. You just have to put a question mark at the end. Yeah, that way, you're not just selling a snack, you're selling a mystery. Seriously, America, you can't keep suing everything, okay? Just accept the fact that everyone is lying to you. Companies are lying to you, the government is lying to you, your wife is cheating on you with me. Nothing is real, okay? You can't even trust water.
A judge has given new life to a class action lawsuit accusing Poland Spring of selling water that's sourced from wells and not springs. He ruled last week that an amended complaint can proceed with claims in 8 states. Poland Spring's corporate parent, Connecticut-based Nestle Waters North America, reiterated Tuesday that it's a meritless lawsuit and said the judge's decision doesn't undermine its confidence.
That's right. A woman is mad that Poland Spring water doesn't come from a spring. It comes from a well. Yeah, I just told the people in Flint, Michigan about this story, and they said to go yourself. Seriously. Who actually thinks Poland Spring water comes from a spring in Poland? Do you also think your smart water went to MIT? It's all marketing. Although, to be fair, CVS water does come from CVS, okay? It's locally sourced from the CVS break room toilet. Look. I think America would have fewer lawsuits if people were more skeptical of what they put in their bodies in the first place. And if you ask me, this is just a scheme people are using to try and get rich, which is why I'm also joining in. Trevor, I am suing you. Consider yourself served.
What? Why?
Because the food you left in the fridge today wasn't organic, and I almost didn't finish it.
Wait, what do you mean the food? That was my food. You ate my lunch, Ronnie. That was my lunch.
Trevor, we'll let the courts decide. Trevor, you probably don't know this, but today is Earth Day. So to celebrate, I got you some Earth.
Oh, whoa!
You're
Ronnie,
welcome,
what the hell?
Trevor. As we celebrate Earth, we're also trying to figure out how to save it. Take me, for instance. To help cool the planet, before I left my apartment today, I turned the air conditioning on.
What? No, isn't that contributing to global warming?
No, stupid. I left the window open, of course. But unfortunately for the Earth, not everyone's solutions are as practical as mine.
How can humankind tackle global warming? There are some scientists proposing a technique that's similar to the Earth wearing UV protection sunglasses, apparently, to block out the sun's harmful rays.
Basically, what the proposal wants to do is it wants to send airplanes into the stratosphere, effectively spraying it with aerosols into the atmosphere, almost kind of like working like you're adding extra clouds. When you do that, you essentially are trying to block more of that sunlight.
So your solution to save the planet is to spray more shit into the atmosphere. Let me ask you, what's the point of saving Earth if the whole thing looks like New Jersey? And also, there's no way that will work. It's like trying to get a coffee stain out of your shirt by using blood, okay? Don't believe every life hack you read on the internet. We don't need to dim the sun. We already have 2 dim suns. They're called Eric and Don Jr. Hello! High five, Trevor! Come on! Come on!
I'm not gonna high five you. I'm not gonna high five you.
Oh, sorry, didn't know you were a Trump guy. Anyway, there's a whole ocean of bad ideas out there. In fact, one of those bad ideas is an ocean.
A Silicon Valley firm wants to stop climate change by flooding the desert. Y Combinator unveiled some radical ideas as one of 4 moonshot scenarios presented to get innovators thinking about climate change remedies. The company says by using 238 trillion gallons of ocean water, it could create millions of algae reservoirs that could combat carbon dioxide. Y Combinator expects the project to cost about $50 trillion.
You're gonna move the ocean into the desert? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Unless they do it while Burning Man is happening, in which case, go for it, please take a bath, you dirty hippies. First of all, you can't move an ocean, okay? Have you guys ever tried to move a 1-bedroom apartment? You can't buy 3 boxes of Papa John's and ask your friends to move the Atlantic, okay? But at least these guys are trying to find a solution to save the Earth, okay? Other people are just waving a white flag.
Right now, world leaders are exploring a concept for a floating city to guard against floods, tsunamis, and Category 5 hurricanes. The floating city is made up of 6 hexagonal islands that would be built with sustainable materials. Each island would hold about 300 people, with an entire city being comprised of 10,000 people. Leaders see the project as a viable solution against rising sea levels, climate change, and housing shortages. They will also be built so that they can be towed to a safer location if needed.
Wow, living on floating cities. Clearly, we've given up. Okay, we couldn't cut back on plastic straws, so we have to go on a carnival cruise that never ends. That's a nightmare for everyone, except elderly couples trying to have sex with strangers, of course. I can't believe we're abandoning land so fast. We're mammals. We're supposed to live on land. No mammals live in the ocean.
Dolphins and whales?
Yeah, 2 great examples of fishes. Thank you.
Okay, you know what, Ronnie? Like, at least these people are trying, all right? If you're so smart, what's your plan to save the Earth?
Okay, Trevor, I'm glad you asked. I have a 2-step plan here, all right? Step 1, everyone gives me $1 million.
Okay, and then what's step 2?
Step 2 is I proceed to have a good life while the rest of you drift away on your floating cities. Happy Earth Day, everyone. High five me, Trump boy. Let's go, come on.
Ronny Chieng, everyone.
One thing I've learned about Americans is that Americans love their pets. And I'm here to say, why? Pets are kind of stupid. I mean, you spend all your time picking up their poop, and then on top of that, when they die, you have to go through all the trouble of throwing them in your neighbor's yard. No thanks. But that's just me, okay? Other people are obsessed with their pets, and it's, quite frankly, getting out of control.
Dog owners often consider their pets part of the family.
And the new trend has some families treating their furry friends more like people.
It's called the humanization of pets, and it's become a big business across America. Massages, blueberry facials, even podicures.
This is where doggies come for their ultimate spa treatment. We then give them a massage, a grooming.
Okay, this is ridiculous. Dogs don't need a spa day. Every day of a dog's life is a spa day. Someone feeds you, someone bathes you. I mean, they roll over, they get a massage, but when I roll over on the massage table, I get arrested. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. And people aren't just throwing away their money on dog spas, they're also wasting it on fine doggy dining.
A Manhattan restaurant has rolled out a special menu just for dogs.
Check out what's on it. A $42 ribeye steak with steamed veggies, a lemon drizzled salmon fillet for $28, grilled chicken breast for $16, light bites of carrots and apples, and a berry bowl.
Why are you feeding dogs $40 steaks? You realize dogs will eat their own poop. In fact, if I ran this restaurant, I would just take the poop from my last dog customer and feed it to the next dog customer, okay? The dogs would be just as happy, and you're recycling. So there's dog facials, dog massages, dog steaks, and if you want an extra helping of dumbass dog ideas, how about dog mansions?
A company in London has launched what's likely the most lavish dog houses you've ever seen.
Talk about a pampered pooch here. Take a look. Each kennel has air conditioning, it has heating, it even has treat dispensers. Oh, and a conference calling system so you can communicate with your pup. By the way, prices start at $35,000 and go all the way up to $170,000.
$170,000. I mean, who are these rich, crazy Caucasians? This is disgusting, okay? There are millions of homeless dogs in shelters, and these rich sons of bitches are living in mansions. And I mean literally. Their moms are bitches. That's the scientific term. By the way, what kind of dog needs a conference calling system? What would that call even sound like? Hey boy, just calling to check in. You still a dog? Oh, whoa. Okay, cool, bye. You know what? Being human sucks, okay? I want to be a dog. That's why I'm officially putting myself up for adoption to be someone's pet. That's right. I'm just as good as any dumb dog. I can sit, I can roll over, shake hands, and with just a few more weeks of yoga, soon I too will be able to lick my own butthole.
Ronny Chieng, everybody!
If you're super rich, the only thing better than spending your money is having other rich people see you spend your money. And the place you do that? Auctions. It's the place where a guy talks so fast that he tricks you into buying crazy shit you don't even need. Like one time I raised my hand at an auction to ask where the bathroom was, and I ended up buying a yacht. And the yacht didn't even have a bathroom. You're just supposed to pee over the side like a barbarian. So auctions were always where the rich went to flex, but now it's just getting stupid.
Hey, are you a fan of grapes? Would you pay $460 to eat just one? A bunch of ruby Roman grapes were sold at an auction for $11,000.
The grapes are prized for their juiciness, high sugar content, and low acidity. It is the most expensive bunch since the breed came to market 12 years ago.
$11,000 for a bunch of grapes sold to the dumbest guy in the room. That's $500 per grape. And because they're grapes, you know you're gonna drop at least one, and it's gonna roll under the fridge, typical grape shit, and the mouse that picks up that grape automatically becomes the richest mouse of all time. If I'm buying grapes for $11,000, those grapes better come with a sexy man in a toga to feed them to me, and then slap the shit out of me for spending $11,000 on grapes. And look, if you think spending a couple $1,000s on grapes isn't a big deal, what about spending $100,000 on a lump of plastic?
A little piece of the Force sold for a small fortune. A prototype Star Wars action figure fetched just under $113,000 at an auction in Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh. The rocket-firing Boba Fett figure was originally intended to be part of a toy line for The Empire Strikes Back in 1979, but it never went into mass production. That's because it was deemed a potential safety hazard to children.
That's right, $113,000 for one toy. For that money, you could have bought all of Toys R Us. And the worst part is you're dropping $100 grand on a toy that wasn't even good enough to be released. And I wonder why. Look, I don't remember the part in Star Wars where Boba Fett captures Han Solo with a red dildo. This all just shows you that Star Wars fans will buy any stupid bullshit even remotely related to Star Wars. And that's why I'm going to start selling the Luke Skywalker walker. So, we have $10,000 grapes and $100,000 broken toy. And if you're looking to blow $1 million on something stupid, I've got just the auction for you.
3 original NASA videotapes of the Apollo 11 moon landing sold at auction on the 50th anniversary for $1.8 million. They show Neil Armstrong's first step on the moon and Buzz Aldrin planting the American flag there.
Footage of the moon landing, this guy just paid almost $2 million for something he could have watched on YouTube, okay? For that money, you could buy the actual studio where they faked the moon landing. Also, these tapes have been sitting in a box for 50 years, okay? Someone must have taped over them by now. Whoever bought this is going to be so pissed when they sit down to watch them and they're just old episodes of Full House. So, I get that the tapes are valuable, okay? But for that price, there better be a man in a sexy toga feeding me those tapes. So that's the world of stupid auctions that are really stupid, okay? Any questions?
Actually, I have a question.
And sold! You're now the proud owner of a new yacht with a lot of pee on the side.
Wait, I don't want to buy it. I don't want to. No,
At this point, I think we can all agree that the internet is basically giving us all brain damage, okay? Social media is constantly bombarding us with information we don't care about, like what my friend ate for breakfast, and what my mom's watching on TV, and when my wife had our baby. Ugh. Okay? The point is, social media is destroying everything. Just look at this guy, who went viral for the dumbest thing possible.
Carson King thought he'd get a few laughs.
Just kind of thought it was a joke.
And maybe even a few bucks on ESPN's College Game Day with a sign asking for beer money, along with his actual Venmo account. The money started pouring in.
I had people from Texas, Idaho, California, Massachusetts.
All told, King raised more than $1 million.
This guy got $1 million for beer. Are you kidding me? All he did was hold up a sign. This guy does it on TV and he's a hero. But when I held up a sign demanding money, all of a sudden I'm a bank robber and I took hostages, which is like a federal offense. And the fact that this even worked was stupid, Trevor, but not as stupid as what he did with the money.
He decided he'd donate all of it, minus the cost of one case of beer, to the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. It overlooks the Hawkeyes football field where at home games, fans turn and wave to the kids. Hearing the news, Venmo and Busch Beer both vowed to match the growing funds.
Wow, he gave all that money to a children's hospital. What an incredible insult to all the hardworking Americans who thought it was for beer. Yo, at least he bought like one case of beer, okay? Although now there's just gonna be some kid who's $12 short of a new kidney, right? Oh, sorry, Timmy, we ran out of money, but we did put this empty can of Bud Light inside of you. Let's just see what happens. If you think this story couldn't get any stupider, remember, on the internet, no good deed goes unpunished.
The Des Moines Register profiled King, and the reporter dug up a couple of offensive, racist tweets from when King was 16 and sharing jokes from the Comedy Central show Tosh.0.
It was brought to my attention by a reporter for the Des Moines Register, and once he pointed it out, I was really upset with myself.
Well, what a plot twist. The guy who raised over $2 million for sick kids also tweeted offensive jokes 10 years ago. So is he a good person or is he a bad person? I haven't been this confused about how to feel since I got a boner for my great-grandma's yearbook photo. But at least there's a clear lesson here. Never donate money you get for beer to a children's hospital, okay? Because you only become famous if you donate the money. If you keep the money, no one cares and you're rich. And if you think this story doesn't get any stupider, then you are as wrong as the feelings I have for my great-grandmother, okay? Because get this. After a reporter exposed this guy's old tweets, the reporter himself got his own 15 minutes of shame.
Internet users angry about the paper digging up old tweets did some digging of their own, this time on reporter Aaron Calvin. And lo and behold, they uncovered derogatory tweets about African Americans, gay people, and women. The Des Moines Register then fired Calvin, saying, quote, "We took appropriate action because there's nothing more important than having readers' trust."
That's right. The reporter who found the racist tweets had even worse racist tweets. Just a classic case of the pot calling the kettle the N-word. Which is why I always say, don't point fingers on the internet, because the internet will finger you right back. So there you have it. The guy who raised the money is canceled, the reporter is canceled, I think the beer got canceled, and everything continues to be stupid.
Yes, but I think it is still a happy ending here, Ronnie, because at least the sick kids are gonna get that money.
Well, actually, Trevor, I dug out some of these kids' tweets and, oh man.
Ronny Chieng, everybody!